The last month and a half, I answered tests every day. I gave mock tests. I think I started that for 2 months. For 2 months, I answered mock tests every day, and towards the end, at one point, I was taking 2 tests a day for some days because it was hectic. I think I used to take around 9-10 tests a week.
Hi and hello everyone, welcome to Chamomile Tea with Toppers, an initiative by Unacademy. This is your host Chaitanya Mittal, All India Rank 4 in AIIMS 2019 entrance examination, All India Rank 5 in JIPMER 2019 entrance examination. Currently, I am a final prof MBBS student at AIIMS New Delhi. In this interview, in this episode, I am very proud to host my junior, Anushka Kulkarni. Welcome Anushka to Chamomile Tea with Toppers.
Thank you.
So Anushka had a score of 700 plus, that is 705 in the NEET 2022 entrance examination. That got her to an All India rank of 24. And finally to AIIMS New Delhi, that is every medical aspirant's dream. So congratulations on that. And how are you feeling with your result? And what was your feeling when the result came?
When the result came, I think I knew that it was around 700 because in the beginning, the Akash teachers made me check. At that point, I was extremely happy. It went better than I had expected. But then I think I was frustrated like a lot of other aspirants by that botany question. I just remember the frustration very clearly. I don't remember the excitement.
हर controversial question तो होता ही है.
हाँ, excitement भी था, बहुत था.
Okay. So do you like AIIMS Delhi now? मतलब, are you liking your life in the last 1 month?
Yeah, actually, it's really good. It's fun. I've met a lot of great people. Met a lot of seniors as well.
सही है. तो अभी you must have celebrated Holi at AIIMS. कैसा रहा था experience? Tell us in all detail about it.
First mud Holi, so the mud pit comes. I remember being chucked in 10 times. So that was the highlight. But it was a lot of fun. There was dancing, music, everything. It was amazing.
Nice.
By far one of my best Holies.
सही है. तो ठीक है, गोवा के लोगों को भी यहाँ पे कुछ अच्छा लग रहा है. That means there must be something good about the social life at AIIMS Delhi, and I think that's really a great thing. Anyway, so for all of you, we will sort of make this interview very structured because I know NEET 2023 is just around the corner. So Anushka, your juniors, they are appearing on 7th May 2023 for their examination, and we definitely wish them all the best. But हम चाहेंगे कि शुरू में हम उनको बताएं कि what did you do in those last 2 months, last 3 months, और उसकी क्या strategy थी for you. So we'll just begin with an overview of that.
The last month and a half, I answered tests every day. I gave mock tests. I think I started that for 2 months. For 2 months, I answered mock tests every day, and towards the end, at one point, I was taking 2 tests a day for some days because it was hectic. I think I used to take around 9-10 tests a week.
All right.
That was what helped me a lot.
So in total, how many mock tests did you give during your entire NEET preparation?
Including 11th and 12th.
सब कुछ मिला के.
Count नहीं कर सकते वैसे. हर mock test, हर test दिया था मैंने mostly.
मतलब जितने भी possible थे test देने.
How much ever was humanly possible, I gave.
So I just want to break it down a little कि हमें इसमें 2 चीज़ें हैं, main revision और testing. Testing I think you've addressed a lot. Let's talk about revision. मतलब इस टाइम पे revision कैसे करनी है, syllabus कितना खत्म हो जाना चाहिए, अगर syllabus में backlog है उसको कैसे cover करना है. First, let's talk about how to, complete the syllabus, and syllabus में जो backlog है, उसको कैसे cover करें?
Backlog, I managed to address only as I answered the papers, because as I answered the papers and did error analysis, I realized what my backlog actually was. बहुत backlog हो जाता है और छूट जाता है. There's no way for you to actually remember what is part of your backlog and what is not. So when you answer the paper, you automatically remember, अरे यार ये तो मेरा backlog था. Then I go and I do that properly, and then it just goes on. With each paper, there's something new that I realize I've missed.
ठीक है, तो मतलब इसमें एक जो पैराडाइम आता है, जो स्टूडेंट्स हमेशा सोचते हैं कि हम मॉक टेस्ट देना तभी स्टार्ट करें जब हमारा सिलेबस खत्म हो गया. डू यू थिंक दैट इज ट्रू?
माय सिलेबस वाज नॉट ओवर व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड. मेरा सिलेबस, इट वाज लाइक आई वाज स्कैर्ड ऑफ केमिस्ट्री. इट्स नॉट इवन एन एग्जैजरेशन. एंड इनऑर्गेनिक तो I was really scared. So I started giving the papers, and whatever I knew from class was all I knew for inorganic. Then as I gave papers, I focused more on chemistry because that was my weak point. And as I did that, I covered the portion. So I covered the portion effectively, properly, with full confidence, I can say, like 2 weeks before NEET.
2 weeks before NEET.
2 weeks before NEET.
ठीक है, तो देख लो भाई, लोगों का सिलेबस 2 हफ्ते पहले भी खत्म होता है. तो आई थिंक दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू स्टार्ट गिविंग टेस्ट. अपने आप को एक बार जस्ट पुट योर सेल्फ थ्रू द प्रोसेस एंड देन यू रियलाइज what has to be done. So when you gave your first full syllabus mock test, how much did you score?
First full syllabus mock test after the syllabus had been completed, because like I had 2 courses going on.
Okay.
So once I had finished the fulls, 597. I wasn't even 600.
597.
Yeah.
Okay. So you came from 500s to 700s. ठीक है. So that means, so was that scary for you? Did you feel demotivated at that time?
I did. I took a day off because I felt demotivated.
Okay.
Like a full day off.
कि कुछ नहीं करना है, ऐसे
कुछ नहीं करना है. In fact, I was thinking, अरे क्यों करना है, या कुछ और ले लेते हैं. But then, like, as the day went by, and I stayed away from social media that whole day. I just kept to myself, and I spoke to one of my friends, and he helped me through it. So it was good.
Okay. So to somebody who's going through the same sort of demotivation right now, what would be your advice to them? कैसे उस demotivation को overcome करें?
If you're feeling demotivated, just take a day. You're probably just stressing too much. You're overthinking it. You're putting yourself through more than you think you can handle. So just take a day. You yourself will realize that you can do it, and you will regain that confidence.
That's right. Okay, great. So let's come back to the testing bit of it once. Now you've started giving mock tests. How do you analyze those mock tests? कैसे analysis कैसे करना है mock test का? And मतलब हम कैसे realize करें कि हमें अपना score बढ़ाना है and वो score कैसे बढ़ाना है?
So we used to get the answer key. I used to cross-check with that, and whatever question I did wrong, I went and I made sure that I checked on it. कि where did I go wrong? Was it a concept? Was it just a silly mistake? Because वो बहुत होते थे. With me, that was a big problem. I didn't read the full question only, and I didn't read all the options at one point. So I had to mostly cut down on my silly mistakes, and wherever the concept was wrong, that meant that was part of my backlog, and I went and did that.
Okay. So silly mistakes you addressed, and is there some special technique?
Practice.
Silly mistakes, practice.
नहीं, सिर्फ practice. There's no. जितना भी बोलो कि you are not going to do this, ये तो मुझसे नहीं होगा, ये बहुत silly है, हो जाता है, बहुत silly हो जाता है.
Okay, so you just have to take care of that and.
Yeah.
Okay. One very important thing that you brought up, which I feel is very important for everyone, since हमारा screen time बढ़ता जा रहा है and all of that. You said social media. So what was your social media presence in 11th, 12th, and then later on in these last 2 months? What was your social media activity like?
I was pretty active actually. My NEET was on July 17th. I deactivated Instagram and went like I was mostly offline even on WhatsApp from 1st July.
And overall एक दिन में पढ़ाई कितनी होती थी, especially during the last 2 months?
Last 2 months, I used to get up at 5. I used to study for around an hour, 2 hours. Then I used to go to give Akash, and there was a series, intensive test series. So I went and gave that, and then I used to come back, I used to relax, and I used to study for around 2-3 hours. I didn't study a lot, but whatever I studied, I did well, and mostly it was the papers. Like when you're answering a paper, you're technically studying. And then analyzing that was also part of study.
Okay, so it was mostly mock test,
analysis,
backlog, errors, right? That's great. So you talked about error analysis. That's a special strategy that you use.
Definitely.
So tell our learners, aspirants about it.
That is the most important thing. Like even if all your concepts are clear, you have to know where you're going wrong. If you don't know where you're going wrong and you don't correct it, you will make the same mistakes again. Like error analysis is not something I started from 11th. I learned over time about its importance when I realized I was making the same mistake again and again, and that was demotivating, honestly. So when I started analyzing my errors, it was smooth.
तो करना क्या होता है error analysis में? Like I got a question wrong, अब मैं क्या करूँ?
You will go into it. You will first of all figure out the correct option. Then you will realize, again, it's 2 types of errors, right? Conceptual error, जहाँ पे you really don't know it, and the other is silly mistakes. If it's silly mistakes, then it's just like a practice kind of thing. And if it was conceptual, I'd try to find the answer on my own. If I couldn't, I'd approach my teachers or my friends.
So doubt clearing basically.
Clear your doubt then and there.
ठीक है. So how well were you on your time management? NEET का पेपर कितनी देर में you were able to solve?
Pretty good actually. I finished 3 hours 20 minutes का था. मेरा 3 hours 10 minutes में पूरा हो गया, like fully with everything.
Marked OMR, ready to go.
everything, like बैठ गई बस 10 मिनट.
अच्छा ठीक है. तो and how was that 10 minutes for you? Was it anxiety or was it
Anxiety.
calm?
Anxiety. I was thinking about section B mostly because section B mein if I could have nullified one of the questions and attempted another. So like just holding myself back from doing that. I think I did that for one question. I don't remember which.
So you mean section B is like
It's
it's a god section. I mean it is.
It's volatile. Depends on how you play.
I wonder why nobody talks about how important section B is and how it is a game changer. जैसे अगर botany का वो जो controversial वाला question है,
Section B में आया था तो
अगर वो section B में
Different
आया होता
story.
तो it would have made so much of a difference, you know,
Big
somebody
difference.
picking that question versus somebody who would have been smart enough to know कि
I would
मुझे
have
इसमें नहीं घुसना है ना?
नहीं घुसना है उसमें.
So that is wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about what you did just the day before the examination, on the day of the examination, and what was your paper attempting strategy?
Just the day before the exam, I was brushing up on bio because while during my error analysis, I was better in bio than I was in physics and chem. So that was mostly covered of mine, and I was doing bio, and I started panicking. So एक घंटा वहीं पे चला गया, and then like I spoke to two of my teachers that day, my physics and my bio teacher. So they calmed me down a little bit. Now whatever you've studied. So then after that, I started looking at other question papers only. And I stayed away from the theoretical unless I really needed to know the answer to a question.
Okay, so you just went...
Panic ho jata hai, warna it's... I have panicked, that's why I know.
ठीक है. और what time did you go to bed? What time did you wake up? And how did you plan your next day?
I slept for 7 hours that night, I remember. I watched an episode of Friends because that's not addictive and that's something that was soothing for me. At night I was pretty chill because मेरा हो गया था panic. So at night I was chill, I watched whatever I wanted, I spoke to my mom and then I slept for a good amount of time.
Nice. So I will ask you once again, which was your test center? Which city was your test center?
Mine was in South Goa. Mine was at... Oh, I forgot.
ठीक है, जो भी था. My point is हम गोवा छुट्टी मनाने जाते हैं. इसने गोवा में अपना नीट का एग्जाम दिया है. So after that party करी थी. What did you do after your exam got over?
After that, I stayed away from social media.
After
for
that
day.
You stayed?
I stayed because I'm not someone who is like used to checking immediately कि क्या answer क्या है. I did not want to do that. So as long as I could, I stayed away. Then like I started getting calls from teachers, so then I had to check. And then उसके बाद जब पता चला, I was very happy. But then it was normal only.
So no special party on that day?
नहीं.
Right.
I waited for results.
You waited for the result. ठीक है. And I think उसके बाद से अभी तक पार्टी चली रही है एक तरीके से.
I mean AIIMS is pretty fun. It's
Right.
not just studies over there, which is good.
What's the best part about AIIMS that you like?
The extracurricular opportunities as well as the opportunities in research. I don't think any college offers that much. Like just even the academics are like really good. It's fun.
Right. So what are your, I know it's too early, you're just in first year, but आगे के plans क्या है? मतलब what do you want to do in life?
Mostly surgery, but it's too early.
And surgery करके settle कहाँ होना है? गोवा में?
नहीं गोवा. पता नहीं वो तो अभी I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. Fair enough. But I think one thing that all of us have always thought about at some point कि अगर हम MBBS ना कर रहे होते या if we weren't doing medicine, what would you have done?
I don't really know. Probably more in English. I don't know.
Okay, you would have done an English major.
Maybe event management.
Event management.
Business side.
Achha, so you will enjoy organizing Pulse and other events, hopefully at AIIMS.
Yeah.
That is somewhat in that forte. Anyway, so I think that sort of summarizes everything that a NEET 2023 aspirant needs to keep in mind. For all our other learners also, we'll try to get a more deeper insight of your overall preparation. So maybe you could just walk us through your journey. क्या रही थी तेरी journey in 11th, 12th? How did you start? When did you start studying seriously? All of that.
So in 11th, I joined 2 institutes. That was PACE and Akash, and that is not something I would genuinely advise someone to do. I was lucky that I was online, so I could pick and choose what to do. PACE was like an integrated thing with school, so in the beginning I was focusing more on that, but then Akash answered all the papers. I attended as many classes as I could. In 11th, आकाश तो छूट गया था मेरा मोस्टली एंड आई यूज्ड टू डू इन पेस आई यूज्ड टू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ होमवर्क सो फॉर फिजिक्स आई यूज्ड टू सॉल्व एवरी डे आई डिड दैट एंड आई स्टेड रेगुलर इन 11th and in 12th I continued that and in 12th I even started paying more attention on Akash. I tried to do both as much as I humanly could.
Okay, so basically point is you were consistent throughout the 2 years with
Yes.
whatever you were doing.
Definitely.
ठीक है, तो उसके बाद केमिस्ट्री में अगर हम बात करें फिजिकल इनऑर्गेनिक ऑर्गेनिक कैसे डिवाइड किया, क्या रिसोर्सेज यूज करे?
I was regular with classes, like class notes I did properly. I did whatever homework was given to me. I solved the modules. Chemistry मेरा तो weak था. It was the weakest for me. Like normally people panic with physics. The way people panic with physics, that was my chemistry, my relationship with chemistry. तो मुझसे chemistry होता नहीं
थी.
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं था. तो end में ही वो जाके सही हुआ. Like 3 months before NEET ही I started. मैंने सोचा कि नहीं, chemistry is not going to be the reason I don't do well. फिर तब से मैंने chemistry को अच्छे से किया. I stayed with chemistry. I did whatever I could even in the beginning. जितना भी हो रहा था मुझसे मैं कर लेती थी. But I actually sat down and made sure that it wouldn't be a problem 3-4 months before NEET.
तो ऐसा क्या किया लास्ट में कि मतलब you got that confidence that I am sorted with chemistry?
Chemistry में मुझे mostly inorganic में problem होता था. So मैं 5 बजे उठती थी and I used to study inorganic at that point and I used to make like rough notes. These notes I never read them. No one will ever be able to read them as well. बहुत गंदी handwriting है. But it was like whatever you write you remember. So that worked for me.
जिसको हम कहते हैं लिख के कर लो.
लिख के कर लो.
ठीक.
Anyways रटना है inorganic में.
Okay. So just जो चीज़ें हैं उनको साथ लिखते रहो. I think एक हैंड रिटन मेमोरी बन जाती है. उनको पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस
पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगेन मैंने 2 बार पढ़ा है थिंक inorganic. दोनों बार मैंने separately लिखे.
So how about resources you used for physical, inorganic, organic? Any books?
Modules and whatever questions like my teachers give.
बस उतना ही, that is sufficient.
And NCERT किया मैंने chemistry के लिए. Organic में मैंने NCERT बहुत अच्छे से किया. Inorganic I stuck to NCERT only. I knew कि मुझसे इससे ज़्यादा नहीं होने वाला, so I stuck to NCERT for inorganic.
Great. And finally moving on to biology.
Biology, I realized the importance of NCERT only later on, but because I used to do only the modules. Like physics and chem, if you do modules, it's good. It's needed for physics and chem. But for biology, it's not really needed that much. But I don't regret it क्योंकि वहाँ पे मेरा concept build हो गया. I knew a lot more than what was going to come for NEET, and that gave me the confidence कि I know more. So this is like a cakewalk. If you know more, it becomes a cake.
मतलब अगर तुमने 12th का पढ़ लिया है तो 11th तो कर ही लोगे. वो वाली चीज़. ठीक है. Fair enough. And how many mock tests did you give in your 11th 12th? मतलब 7 mock tests देने में what was your frequency of giving mock tests?
Very regular. I gave one in 11th. I used to give at least one in a fortnight. Once a week, twice a week. नहीं, twice a week तो नहीं था. Once in 2 weeks or once a week. And towards the end, I told like
वो तो regular.
बहुत regular. Whatever tests were there, most of them I gave.
What was your lowest score in these mock tests? मतलब सबसे
full syllabus.
कोई भी.
Full syllabus में once it was 360 out of 720.
360.
360. That
Half
was
the
like
score.
Yeah.
तो इतना कम कैसे?
क्योंकि तब when they had started full syllabus tests, I hadn't personally finished the syllabus on my side. So 360.
मतलब genuinely 360.
Genuinely exact 360. And मैं actually उस point में मुझसे I was happy with that. क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि मुझे और करना है. मेरा syllabus ही खत्म नहीं हुआ है. जितना syllabus आता था उसमें इतना आ गया. So like I knew I could do it.
You had a way forward.
I had a way forward.
Okay. So I think it's about keeping that positive attitude कि मेरा जो भी score आ रहा है, I can take it.
It's about knowing how much you have prepared. According to my preparation, at that point 360 was good.
Right. So Anushka, ये paper attempting strategy क्या थी for your examination? How did you attempt your paper? Physics, chemistry, biology? कैसे करते थे?
Bio, physics, chem, but I would not bubble it in. Like I did it once in rough, then I did it once more, and the second time when I was doing it, I bubbled in only the ones I was confident in. I circled the ones that I did not bubble on the question paper. Then like I repeated bio, physics, chemistry rounds as many times as I had to cover the paper.
Okay, so generally मतलब it's a 3-round process essentially.
3 round, 4 max.
ठीक है. और second round के बाद fill करा उसको in the order of biophysics. क्यों biophysics chemistry क्यों choose किया?
Bio because physics और chem में sometimes time लग जाता था. I did not want bio to go bad because like stress था कि और एक time खत्म होने वाला है. So might as well finish bio fast. Bio मेरा आधे घंटे में हो जाता था. So bio I used to finish very fast, and then I had enough time to focus on physics and chem like peacefully.
ठीक है, सही है. And as you said, chemistry was slightly weaker, तो इसलिए
That's why I went for physics.
last.
Physics was not bad of mine. Physics was pretty good.
So did you use the same thing on your exam day, and
Yes.
what was your exam day performance like?
Exam, I did my best performance was the exam day performance.
Okay. So how did your exam day go overall?
Chaotic because I hadn't eaten anything for 5 hours before the actual paper. Like they took us in early, and we were not allowed to carry anything naturally.
Okay.
So like no food, and we got water very late. So all that was like a factor. I forgot my glasses at one point. I had to run out. I had to get that. That also a lot of factors. लेकिन finally तो like 5 घंटे वहाँ पे बैठ के इतना सिर पक गया कि I was not anxious anymore. Like अभी लिखना है paper. So that was the mindset that
सही है.
settled.
And जब result आया, what was the whole situation like?
जब result आया तो chaotic. It was like lots of calls, lots of interviews. It was just very chaotic. I did not have time to process it myself, I think. Like I managed to process it properly, I think 2 days after the result came out.
Nice. Okay, that's great. So I think that sort of summarizes everything we had to cover from a preparation point of view, and I think our learners would have learnt a lot from this. So it's time to slightly move on to the fun elements of Chamomile Tea with Toppers. So as you might know, that we have a rapid fire round, and we would ask some questions and you have to answer them as truthfully as possible. And if you do well, you have a special hamper from CTwT's side for you. So are you excited for it?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's do it. Okay, so we are about to begin. Are you ready? ठीक है, एकदम rapid fire. मतलब सोचना नहीं है, ठीक है?
Okay.
Which city would you like to live in?
Oslo.
Okay. What is your favorite type of flower or plant?
Don't really have one.
Okay. Do you prefer to write with a pen or a pencil?
Pen.
Okay. Do you prefer working alone or in a team?
Team.
Do you prefer going to the gym or exercising outdoors?
Gym.
What is your favorite type of cuisine?
Italian.
Okay. Do you prefer reading non-fiction or fiction books?
Fiction.
What's your favorite book?
The Game of Thrones series. A Song of Ice and Fire.
Nice. Do you prefer playing musical instruments or singing?
Singing.
Do you prefer morning or evening?
Evening.
Do you prefer playing sports or watching sports?
Playing sports.
ठीक है, तो I think I've asked you a lot and you were spot on. So I think here's this hamper for you. So congratulations, and do share it with all your batchmates.
Thank you.
So Anushka, earlier this round didn't happen, but CTwT has now given you a privilege to ask me also 3 questions of your choice. So this round is called Ask a Senior. But the catch is, I will only answer in a yes or no. मैं एकदम गीता की कसम खा के कहता हूँ, I will answer truthfully. So go ahead and ask your 3 questions.
Does Pulse live up to its hype?
Absolutely.
Did you pick up any new hobby when you came to AIIMS?
I think no. In fact, I might have lost a hobby or 2, but it's fine, I guess.
Do you like your seniors?
Yes, absolutely. I think I love my seniors, as would your batch probably. So yeah, everybody loves their seniors. Juniors, not so much. Okay, so thank you so much. Those were wonderful questions, very fun to answer. And since you were such a help to all our aspirants, we would want you to tag a topper, a friend of yours, which you feel कि तुम्हें लगता है कि the learners will be benefiting from their knowledge, from their insights. So who would you like to tag?
I would like to tag Harini, my batchmate.
So thank you so much for tagging her. We'll definitely try to reach out to her ताकि वो भी अपने experiences share कर सके हमारे learners के साथ, just the way you have. And this was definitely a very fun interview for me, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for guiding all the learners, and we wish them all the very best for their examination, which is on 7th May 2023. May you all do your very best, excel, and reach the same place that we are today. Pursue your MBBS from the college of your choice and do well in life. So with that, मैंने तो अपना message दे दिया, but I feel that you should also give a message to all the aspirants and summarize हमारे पूरे session का ज्ञान for them.
Analyze your errors, know where you're going wrong, and know that it's okay to take a day once in a while. It's fine if you have to like take a break. You can make up for it later on. If you really need to.
ठीक है. Thank you so much, Anushka. Thank you so much for joining us, giving us your precious time from first year and helping us guide our learners. So I think some key takeaways that you saw. 360 say you can go to 705. You should take a day off when you need it, right? So these are some very important lessons you will learn on CTwT, and we hope to come back with you with more such episodes, more such fun episodes, जहाँ पे you have fun, you learn, and you are able to implement them to your preparation. So see you until next time. See you in the next episode. We'll be back with another episode. Till then, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Do let us know in the comment section what was your favorite part about this episode, and do let us know which other toppers you would like us to bring to Chamomile Tea with Toppers, learn about their experiences. See you in the next episode. Thank you so much.